For as long as I can remember, I have been an advocate of women dreaming big and knowing what they want to do and creating a pathway for them to accomplish those things. And in my time before the Women's Leadership Institute, that's what I did as a small business owner, was work with women to help them feel more confidence and less overwhelm and see how they can use their talents to grow as an individual. And this is a place here at the Women's Leadership Institute where we do something similar, just on a much bigger scale. So the ElevateHER Challenge is an example of something that was just an idea when we were a brand new organization, and we've got to see it also bloom into something that is now a cornerstone of our organization. And what was really amazing is that when companies could take this ElevateHER Challenge back to their own boardrooms and literally set the brochure on their table, they were able to have really difficult conversations about where they stood in this gender space without pointing fingers or creating blame. So the challenge became the focus of conversation, not bad business practices in the past or choices that past executives had made that may not have been favorable. So it was a way that companies could have a conversation, create change, and make decisions moving forward that would benefit their company. One of our board members, Alex Shootman, he is the former CEO of Workfront, which has recently been sold to Adobe. But at the time, years ago, when he first decided to take the ElevateHER Challenge back to Workfront, he began looking at gender diversity. That's what the ElevateHER Challenge focuses on, is gender diversity. But what he found is by making these small changes to better address his employees and where they stood with gender diversity, that it rolled into all forms of diversity. And before he knew it, their whole organization was more diverse. He even says that they ended up marching in the Pride Parade. So even though that we focus on gender diversity, it's just a place to start. Workfront was eventually sold to Adobe, and Alex directly relates that success and creating a culture that Adobe would want to acquire back to the changes that he made through the ElevateHER Challenge. One of our original board members back in 2015 was working with American Express, and he was so supportive of all that we do here at the Women's Leadership Institute and a great ally as we launched our ElevateHER Challenge. And then his career took him out of the state into a different company, and we did miss his presence. But what was interesting is that same company, Lending Club, that he moved to, they decided to open up an office here, a branch here in Utah. So he came back to Utah to head up this new branch and to start it from the ground up. And as soon as he came back to the state, he immediately re-engaged with the Women's Leadership Institute because he knew that he could have the most success if he got this new branch off on the right foot and made sure that he was looking at how he could really be diverse from the beginning. And now he's on our board again. And just as before, he is just as much of an advocate for us and really brings a lot of perspective to us. We believe that men are allies, and a great example of that is our founder, Scott Anderson at Zions Bank. We are the Women's Leadership Institute, an organization to support women, but we were founded by a visionary man who saw that there was potential to change the undertone here in Utah and shift that cultural influence that businesses have here in the state. One of the things that makes us unique is that men are allies, and that we believe that working with influential men in our community and even on our boards, that we can create the change that Utah needs faster. If we can link arms together, we are hoping that our efforts, though they feel slow and steady now, will roll into a better change and a much better environment for the next generation.